Fuck. How's it going, everybody? This is Jordan, the Karg Wrestling here with KargKast episode 2. And my fucking god, I'm so sorry this podcast is being uploaded so late to YouTube. I had a long ass week at work last week. I initially wanted this podcast up early Friday morning, but the problem was I worked Thursday through Sunday. And literally every day that I worked, something went wrong at work, which required me to stay late, or something happened, and by the time I got home, it was 3, 4 in the morning, and I was falling asleep walking in my front door. So I decided to push this podcast to Monday, and I'm so sorry, because I know a couple of you were waiting for this to be uploaded, and I didn't want to piss off a lot of people, but I literally just could not find the time this week to find time to record this. And, once summer happens, my job is so much easier for me. I have more time at home, more time to do stuff like this, and have time to do this and to upload it on time like I want it to. So this is a little rarity on my part. I usually don't get glued to my work as often as I do, but not as much as I did last week. So I do apologize for the delay of this podcast. But regardless, I'm back, finally, thank God. I still plan on doing the Raw and SmackDown live streams, the reviewing of it. And just put in here, I'm not going to go in depth from last week's show because nothing really to go over depth on. But I will go over Superstar Shakeup. But I will still do the Raw and SmackDown live streams in the upcoming weeks here. There's going to be a couple of schedule changes coming up here to the channel. Nothing major, just for like a week or two. But nevertheless, let's get into this podcast here because I do want to get this thing uploaded and rendered in the whole 9 yards so I can have it filing my channel and my Twitter and the whole 9 yards here. So again, I do apologize for it being late. Man, if y'all work in the food industry, you know what I mean. I will say if you're a first-time listener here, please subscribe to the channel here. I do come up, like I said earlier, every Monday night for the after Raw to review the show and talk about it. Sometimes after Tuesday SmackDown. Jesus, I can't talk today. After SmackDown on Tuesday nights, it depends what my work schedule is. And then I do a KargKast podcast every week. I'm only on episode 2, but I will be doing this every week when I can, as you guys can tell here. And then anything in between, breaking news, pay-per-view coverage, predictions, the whole 9 yards. I'm going to be doing it. I really like professional wrestling. It's my favorite things to enjoy in life. I've been watching for 20 years, so I definitely have a very big taste and a very big variety in professional wrestling, and I do enjoy it, and I do like coming up here and talking to anybody on YouTube about it. We've had a lot of new subscribers to the channel and had a lot of people reach out to me, and I really appreciate it. So I think we're finally getting a spark on this channel, and I really like to keep this ball rolling here. So if you haven't yet, please give this video a like. Please subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter. I'm very active on that. Instagram, the whole 9 yards. You can find me my other YouTube channel, Karg Music, which recently that's been taking off pretty good too. And of course, if you're feeling generous, I have a Patreon and then also a PayPal here. Just help me fund this if I ever want to do this full time. Those two things will help me immensely. That's a long ways away, but hey, I like to look at the bigger picture early. So without further ado, the first thing I want to dive in is the Superstar Shakeup for the week last week, and how much of a piece of shit that it really was. I mean, holy fuck. It was very underwhelming, the whole Superstar Shakeup, and I knew it was going to be walking into it. I knew it wasn't going to be this giant landscaping shakeup where, it's going to shake up the shows and the whole professional wrestling game and WWE would change. I knew nothing like that would happen. We had a suspicion that Roman Reigns would go to SmackDown, which he did. We also had a kind of a hunch that AJ Styles would go to Raw, which he did. But other than that, there was nothing huge in terms of superstars shaking up, from one show to another. The Miz has changed shows again for like the third time in a row. I think it was on Raw, SmackDown, and back to Raw now, I believe. And I'll dive in depth who got switched over. But like in terms of big names, Finn Balor switched over to SmackDown, which is a good move for him. But and it just wasn't very good. The Superstar Shakeup is supposed to be a shakeup, right? I mean, did we get things shaken up? Kinda. We got different stars and different shows, but is it going to change the match quality and the show quality? No, it's not. I mean, you got great talent on that roster. The mic skills for a lot of people are not very good, but in terms of talent of actual wrestling, you got a shit ton of great wrestlers there. I almost said superstars. I hate that term, actually. But you got a shit ton of great wrestlers who, are awesome in the ring and can tell a story with their bodies. I don't understand why, we're still getting shit quality from the writers. You're going to shake things up, put different superstars in different shows, but nothing's going to change. I'm just so fucking tired of watching the same boring shit over and over again with, just the robotic announcers and, just the rinse and repeat, I can't, I'm tired of it. I'm so tired of it. So Superstar Shakeup is not really a shakeup. Yes, you used to have other superstars, damn, I keep saying it, other wrestlers going to different shows, but it's still the same. It's still going to be the same quality, the same shit we've been getting the last couple of weeks. Hell, the last 2 years, really. I'm just so tired of just the same shit. I'm done with it. So, in terms of going forward here, what's going to happen? I don't know. You're going to get new storylines, of course. You're going to get a whole bunch of, I guess, I'm not really sure. You're going to get a whole bunch of new storylines, a whole bunch of new matches, and it might be fresh for a minute or two. But, at the end of May, let's give it a month here, it's just going to be boring again. Hell, not even that long. I guarantee you maybe 2 weeks and it'll be boring again. So, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if, this is going to spark anything new and creative. I doubt it. But I hope the summer isn't just long and boring and drags out. Because let me tell you what. I am not sitting on my fucking couch every Monday night watching a shit show wrestling show unless I absolutely have to. I'd rather be up at the river on the water getting sunburned and drinking beer around a campfire. That's exactly what I'd be doing. And then I'll watch the highlights afterwards, so I have to sit through 3 hours of Raw and then come up and talk about it. I don't want to do it. So WWE, please don't make my summer 2019 boring professional wrestling. But knowing you guys, you will. So who jumped to Raw? Well, I'm just going off the WWE website here. I'll start from the top we have here. I guess they kind of do it in Superstar. I guess the bigger picture. Who's in the bigger picture here? So we have AJ Styles, which we had kind of a hunch here. The Miz. That's nothing new because he's been on Raw once and twice in years past. Ricochet and Aleister Black, who are a tag team. Again, that's nothing super exciting because they've been on Raw since January. Although I do wish Aleister Black would go on a singles run, and I do believe he would fit better himself on SmackDown. But you know what? I'll take Ricochet and Aleister Black on Raw for now, I suppose. But that's nothing too exciting because we've seen it already in weeks past. Eric and Ivar. What the fuck, WWE? The Viking Experience, which I'll get into in a second here. Okay, I guess. Andrade, I don't really care. Selena Vega, I don't care. Rey Mysterio, I've seen him on Raw before, I guess. I mean, that's something new, I guess. Jimmy and Jey Uso on Raw. Okay, cool. Naomi, she kind of comes with the Usos. EC3, nothing new there. Lacey Evans, definitely nothing new there. Eric Young, who cares? Cedric Alexander, who cares? That's a pretty, to my eyes, that's a pretty weak lineup for the shakeup. A lot of people might disagree with me with that. I just don't think it was very good. The only people that I really care about are AJ Styles, Ricochet, Aleister Black, I guess the Usos, and maybe Andrade. Cien Almas, rather. But, that's a weak lineup. I think SmackDown had a better fucking deal than Raw, which I'll get to in a second here. But looking at this, I don't really care. I actually think Raw is going to be a shittier show. To be honest with you, I think it's going to be a shittier show. You still have Seth Rollins on the show, you still have Braun Strowman, and now you have AJ Styles and kinda Brock Lesnar. But I think it's going to be just a more of a shit show on Raw. I think all the action, all the good shit is going to be in SmackDown. Just my personal opinion. So if that's the case, I actually might switch my days up and work Monday and have off Tuesdays. I just feel like that's what's going to happen. I could be wrong. We'll watch Raw later tonight, and I could be completely wrong, which I won't be. But, I don't know what's going to happen. I just don't think it's going to be very good with looking at this Superstar Shakeup to Raw. I just don't think Raw's gonna be very good, but I hope WWE surprises me. Which, like, this is I guess the key saying in this video, they won't. Now, before moving into SmackDown Superstar Shakeup, I just want to get into detail with the Viking experience here. I made a rant video during my Raw stream, which I still want to clip and put up on my channel here, about the Viking experience. I have the name change and all that. You had the War Raiders, basically they had their name changed to the Viking experience. And, the War Raiders, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I watched them a little bit NXT. I knew of them. I seen a couple of their matches before, but I never knew exactly who they were until they came to Raw. But I knew what the names were, and I knew what their characters were about, and I the whole 9 yards. I knew who they were, but I just didn't watch them intently. But as soon as I saw them being introduced on Raw, I'm like, oh shit, the War Raiders. Okay, cool. And then it said the Viking experience. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, WWE? Their gimmick's already cheesy enough, which I can live with, and I actually like them. Actually, good tag team, but I think their name changes makes them more cringy, more sour taste in your mouth, because I feel like one person's intelligence is being insulted here, like it has been for the last probably 2 years now in this fucking company. But I feel like we're going back to another fucking drought with professional wrestling, like we were in the mid-90s with WWE or WWF back then. I just don't feel excited. I feel like we get back to that little kiddie type experience, a kiddie type feel, and I'm gonna beat you up type attitude, and I don't like it. I know we're not in the Attitude Era anymore. I know we're not in Ruthless Aggression anymore. I know we're in a PG era, which I understand, but you don't have to make it so kiddie. Shit, an 8-year-old me, or 8-year-old now, would probably want some sort of violence, some sort of, realism, and some sort of not cheesiness, like the Viking experience. So, WWE changing the Viking experience name is just so piss poor, and you had to put a lot of effort to be that stupid, I guess. But I hope their name get changed back. I don't know if they will or not. There was a lot of backlash on social media, a lot of backlash. It was actually, I think, the number one trending thing from Raw the whole entire show. Besides the Shakeup, that was the number one thing last week. So there were a lot of people pissed off about it. And I read an article where WWE is considering to change back their name due to the outburst and the backlash. I don't know if that's so true or not. We have to wait till Raw. But it's just fucking stupid why WWE does this shit. The Viking experience, my fucking god. Moving on to SmackDown here. The SmackDown Superstar Shakeup, I actually thought was a hell of a lot better than Raw. I'll also go down the list here who got switched over to SmackDown. Big name of all is Roman Reigns, which we all kind of knew. That I actually really liked. I think Roman Reigns needed a little bit of a shakeup of his own. He did come back from leukemia about 2 months ago. I'm glad he's healthy, glad he's okay. And I don't want him to get stale, so I think moving him to SmackDown was probably a good move here. We had the Intercontinental Champion Finn Balor move to SmackDown, and I also want to put this in here too, and I said this last week too. Right now, currently, the U.S. Champion and the Intercontinental Champion are both on the same show, which kind of leaves a unbalanced feeling with the titles here in both shows. I believe, unless Samoa Joe got switched over to Raw without me knowing, I doubt it. But I feel like that it's off balance right now, so I'm not sure what's going to happen. If WWE is going to, God forbid, introduce another belt. Actually, I wouldn't be too against that, but it can't be too bad, like cheesy. Or they're going to switch Samoa Joe back over to Raw, or back to Raw, or to Raw for the first time, I guess. I don't know, but I just want to point that out there. So we have two mid-card belts, I guess, on the SmackDown brand. And Finn Balor going to SmackDown was actually a pretty good deal, too. Same thing. I think it was going to stay on Raw. It's the same rinse and repeat. So seeing him on the blue brand and seeing him with other different wrestlers would be better for him, I suppose. Elias going to SmackDown, that I was actually a little surprised about. I kind of think he fits better on Raw, but we'll try it with SmackDown. I think I might like it. Bayley is going to SmackDown. She officially broke up with Sasha Banks, which I'll get into a little bit here. Which she's on SmackDown, which is good because I feel like her same thing. Her character's getting still over there. Ember Moon, I love her. Kairi Sane is being on SmackDown now. She's with Asuka in a tag team, which I think that's really fucking cool. I really enjoyed that. Lars Sullivan, I don't give a shit. Buddy Murphy, yeah, I love Buddy Murphy. Liv Morgan's the Riot Squad's broken up. And the one thing I did know how she was getting switched over to SmackDown is because Mandy Rose has a YouTube channel, and I'm subscribed to it, and every Tuesday they have like a donut show on there, and Liv Morgan was on it, and she said, I was told to be here. But she didn't know why, and she then found out she'd been traded to SmackDown. So there's that. Apparently, a lot of the superstars didn't know in the back that they were being traded until the day of, which is odd. So I'll just point that out there. So she's on SmackDown now. Chad Gable, he was on SmackDown once, but I mean, as a singles run, that'd be fine. I guess Chad Gable and Bobby Roode are now done. Mickie James, that's really cool. Otis and Tucker, I really don't care. But I think SmackDown got a fucking better trade there. I really think that it's going to be a better show. But overall, the Superstar Shakeup, wasn't very good. It just was lackluster, very piss poor, very underwhelming. And, there's nothing much to say about that. So I just hope that it does create some sort of spark and interest back in the shows. Like I'm saying here, I think SmackDown is going to be the better show for the next couple weeks here, which makes sense because they're moving to the Fox in the next, I guess it'll be 6 months now. It's April, right? And they're moving in October. So I guess 6-7 months now, they're moving over there. So I guess I get it. So, but Raw's supposed to be your A show, but we'll have to see what happens in the next couple months here. But for the overall, the Super Bowl Shakeup was not that good, guys. And I think a lot of you can agree with me with that. Moving on here to, I guess, the Sasha Banks situation. There's not really much to report on because I'm not really sure what the hell is happening. I'll tell you all I know. I kept looking up articles and a whole bunch of stuff if there's anything new in Sasha Banks. And not entirely. We have a couple rumblings, a couple, I guess, inside tips on what might be happening. But this is what I know so far. She knew the day of she was losing the title at WrestleMania, or I guess the tag team titles, and her and Bayley are going to be split up later on down the road. So naturally, Sasha Banks got really pissed off about all of that because she was told that her and Bayley were going to hold the tag team titles for the foreseeable future, and then supposedly they were going to fight over in Saudi Arabia for the first time ever, the women's a women's match over the first time ever, which I find hard to be true because if that was going to happen, I feel like WWE would just force it down our throats for weeks and weeks to come. And it's in 6 weeks, so I guess maybe they still could, but I doubt that's going to happen over there. But she was pretty pissed off about a lot of stuff with her creative and everything, and I don't fucking blame her. Do you blame her for a lot of the shit's going in WWE? How stale the product is, how shitty the creative team is, how Vince is out of touch, the whole 9 yards. Do you blame her? I don't fucking blame her. So she apparently was pissed, and apparently, just I want to leave, and WWE said, hang on, you go take a 2-week vacation, think things over, and come back. So now 2 weeks is up. She's out. So is she going to be on Raw or SmackDown? I guess Raw. She's still on Raw here. Is she going to be on Raw this week? I don't know. There's still a lot of rumblings that she's still very unhappy. She's still not entirely sure. So I only know what's going to happen with her. A lot of people saying she's going to ask for her release and go to AEW. I highly doubt that. I feel like as a big, a big wrestler, Sasha Banks in the female division, she might ask for her release, but they won't give it to her. Maybe just let her ride out her contract. I mean, who the hell knows? She might not even be leaving. But I don't know. Supposedly, let's say right now, supposedly she shows up on Raw, does a couple of different weeks of Raw, and, maybe find her way to the championship with Becky Lynch and all that, and then go stale or something like that. Maybe after that, she would say, fuck it, I'm done, I'm not doing it anymore, or she could say, I'm not coming back. We don't know what's happening with Sasha Banks right now. Right now, sitting here on April 22nd, on Monday morning, she's currently still on vacation, and I don't think she's advertised for the show tonight, but she's still very angry at WWE, and, we don't know what's happening to her. She could still be leaving. She could still be on vacation. We don't know. But whatever happens with Sasha Banks, I hope nothing best for her. And, I hope she gets pushed somewhere, either this company or an AEW. I don't care. She's too good not to be pushed. We also heard that Daniel Bryan is injured. I don't know if it was from the WrestleMania match with Kofi Kingston. I'm assuming, because I don't think he's wrestled even since then. But the injured is disclosed. We don't know what it is. If you've been following WWE, or I'm sorry, if you've been following Daniel Bryan's career, you know that like he's kind of like very fragile. He's injury prone, and he had to retire once because of an injury, and he luckily came out of retirement and started wrestling again. Thank God. But I don't want anything else bad to happen to him, and I feel like anytime Daniel Bryan gets injured, something's wrong. Everyone has a sign of like a gas and like a oh no type feel. But I don't think it's anything serious. It might just be maybe just a torn something or a broken something, and maybe hopefully not like a broken neck or like a concussion or anything like that, because that's where all Daniel Bryan's problems come from, is up in his head. So I don't know, what it is. We don't know what it is. We don't know how long he's going to be out for, but he's been out since WrestleMania. So hopefully it's nothing terrible. Hopefully it's just like maybe a minor injury, maybe a couple weeks off and come back. So we'll have to see with that. But, I hope nothing the best with Daniel Bryan. I love him. He's one of my favorite wrestlers in this company. So we'll have to see what happens with him, but I think he'll be okay. But I guess we'll have to keep an eye on it open. Diving outside of WWE now, because I feel like I need to go watch something else now, quote, unquote, AEW. But I'm going to dive into a couple different things I want to address here. It happened over the weekend that I've heard. If I don't know what house show it was, I don't know what organization it was, but there was a wrestling match somewhere, looking in a bingo hall somewhere, and there was a masked figure that came in. He was all covered up in a black hoodie and a black mask, hood up and everything, came into the ring, attacked somebody, and gave the guy who looked like CM Punk's GTS. And a lot of people think it was actually CM Punk in that mask and that black hoodie and everything. And if you look at apparently like the shoes, a couple of people said that his shoes are the same as CM Punk's, and it was the same figure and height as CM Punk. The whole, just his mannerisms were it was CM Punk. And I looked at the video, and it sure as shit looks like CM Punk. That's kind of cool. And people saying this is return of professional wrestling. I doubt that. Knowing CM Punk, Phil Brooks, the person, I feel like he likes to stir things up and likes to make people think. I think maybe if it really is him, he just likes to, stir the pot, if you will. And maybe they asked him to do it for a one-time thing, or maybe he wanted to. I don't know. And if it's not CM Punk, whoever this company this is, it could be Ring of Honor I don't know. I just saw the video. But if it isn't CM Punk, that company is fucking genius for thinking, making it look like it was. But I'm going to say it is. It does definitely look like him. CM Punk's been pretty quiet about it, which makes me think that it actually was him, because I feel like if it wasn't him, be like, that wasn't me, you fuckers, you dumbasses. I'm in UFC now. But I don't know. It did look like him. It was kind of cool. And people are like, oh, this is the year CM Punk's coming back. Well, first off, let's take it fucking easy here. Number one, he came in for like a little cameo. To make his move and leave. That was it. Number two, he's in MMA right now. Not doing very well, I should add, but he's in MMA, and he swears that he's done with the professional wrestling, but, all wrestlers say that. So, I don't think this is the year CM Punk coming back by any means. I think if it was him, which is a one-time cameo appearance. So I'll have to see what happens with that. But I think there was just like a one-time thing. Who knows? This could be the start of something. Maybe it's like, 1 week to do this, and the next week you do something else with this mysterious man, and keep going on and on and on. And turns out CM Punk all along. We don't know. It could be the one-time thing. That's what I'm thinking. But I just thought it was interesting, because everyone's like, it's CM Punk's return. He's not returning to WWE. And if he does return to professional wrestling, I tell you right now, looking at WWE product and how shitty it's going there, would you want him to come back to WWE right now? Shit. Fuck no. AEW all the way, man. So, I don't think he's coming back. I think it was a one-time thing, but guess we'll have to wait and see with that one, though. Shit, I forgot to mention this, too. Kind of good diving back in WWE here. It's going down my list of notes here. Luke Harper has asked WWE for his release, and I don't blame him. He was off TV for a while, I believe with an injury, and he hardly has been used, and we saw him in the Andre Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania, and he kind of gave a good pop when he was in the middle of the ring, and people knew it was him, and he actually got a lot of cheers, thinking, oh shit, it's Luke Harper, he's back, and then he got eliminated, people booed, so which made me think that people like Luke Harper, and I do like Luke Harper a lot, and people were, were excited to see him, because he's been gone on TV for a while with I believe an injury, but a year ago, he was with, Eric Eric Rowan, who's now with Dan O'Brien, who's actually been off TV since then. I just now thought of that. But Luke Harper and Eric Rowan were part of the Bludgeon Brothers tag team, which I actually kind of liked, as hokey as it was. I actually like that. Maybe because I'm a fucking weirdo who likes all that dark shit. But I liked it. And then he got hurt and was off TV for a while. And maybe he's been back and he's just been doing house shows and all that. And like I was saying earlier, as stale as the product been and as the shittiest direction as they're going with this company right now, and they're doing nothing with him. He's off TV and he wants to wrestle, and he's asked for his release. And I don't know if it has been granted yet. I don't know. I actually don't know. I want to say that it has been, but I don't know. But he's definitely asked for it for sure. Put on his Twitter and all that. So I feel bad for the guy. He's a great wrestler. He kind of got a slight push for a second there about like a year and a half ago. I remember that. It wasn't huge, but it was a little bit of a spark. And it's a damn shame because I really like him. I think he could have been like a crazy-ass character somewhere, on either show. Mid-card or main guy, but he never got that push for it. So I don't know what's going to happen with him. He could be done with professional wrestling. He may want to go to AEW. We don't know. But I wish nothing but the best for him. Maybe they come up with something, convince him to stay. Bray Wyatt's coming back. Maybe they do something with him and, promises, but WWE doesn't keep a lot of promises very well. Maybe they'll say, okay, we'll keep you here if you come back to the Wyatt family. We promise to give you a push and blah, 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 blah. So, we have to wait and see what happens with that. But he did ask for his release, and if he does get it, I wish nothing but the best for him. I've always liked him, and WWE, you're losing a lot of fucking wrestlers, man. Get your shit together. I do want to mention that I read an article about Chris Jericho. Apparently during WrestleMania weekend, he wanted to do a podcast episode hyping WrestleMania. This guy's in AEW, and he wanted to have a couple different WWE wrestlers on his podcast to, talk about wrestling, talk about WrestleMania and their matches and all of that, and kind of hype the show. Well, apparently WWE just simply told him no. Like, they just said, can I have this and this person on my show? And they just said no. So Chris Jericho thinks that he is dead to the WWE, and because his name is not mentioned in a lot of things anymore, like on the website. I don't think he's even on the alumni section anymore. I don't think. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but he thinks that he's dead with WWE, and everyone's pissed at him, and they probably fucking are. They probably are. I'm sure they are with Billy Gunn and all that, and I'm sure with with Dustin Rhodes, which I'll get to in a second here. But I don't blame Chris Jericho for kind of saying, fuck it, I don't care. If you be mad at me, be mad at me. But here's the thing, though. Why is WWE so fucking pissed off with all these wrestlers going to AEW when they're just doing it to themselves? But more importantly, why are they mad at Chris Jericho? Chris Jericho put his majority of his fucking wrestling career in the WWE. He's almost 50. He's not going to wrestle forever. He may wrestle another 5 years. No, Chris Jericho wrestle another fucking 10 years. But, let him do what he wants. He was actually trying to help out WrestleMania. But I get it. I get why. Because, you don't want an AEW guy interviewing a WWE guy, which isn't the worst thing in the fucking world, but to WWE it is. With AEW, they don't give a shit, which makes a company already so good. They don't care. They'll be like, okay, shit, whatever, we don't care. Wrestling's wrestling. With WWE, it's like, it's us or no one. That's what pisses me off. So, Chris Jericho, says that his name is probably dead in WWE for now. I mean, it is definitely for now. We will definitely one day see Chris Jericho back in WWE, whether it be a Hall of Fame thing or like a return. He will be back one day for sure because he does this every couple of years. I come back, but WWE, don't be a fucking child. Don't be a child. So that's that. I just want to mention that. It was pretty interesting. And I guess the last thing I want to talk about, because it's actually kind of breaking news, the Double or Nothing show is coming up in Las Vegas, which I will be watching, and I will be hopefully live streaming afterwards, reviewing it with you guys. But everyone's wondering who the hell is Cody Rhodes going to face at Double or Nothing. And then his promo video came out the other day, and it was Dustin Rhodes coming out. And saying, I'm going to fight my brother. And, it'd be cool. So he's not wrestling under Goldust because he would probably get sued as shit for that. But he's wrestling under Dustin Rhodes. So it's going to be Dustin Rhodes versus Cody Rhodes. And what I just received literally about 10 minutes ago from Bleacher Report, if I can pull my phone down here. What was it? Okay, it says Dustin Rhodes retires Goldust. And it says Rhodes announced WWE departure, which I didn't know about that because I was wondering about that. How the hell is he doing this if he's still in WWE contract? And he said, we'll face his brother Cody at AEW, Double or Nothing, with Iconic Pain. So I actually kind of read this wrong. I thought it was so Cody Rhodes was going to retire, but he retired the Goldust character. But if you look in the picture here right now, if you're watching it on video, it's basically the Goldust makeup, but it's red and black instead of gold and black. He's wrestling under his own name. So the Rhodes brothers are wrestling, and I think that's actually awesome. I think that is just so fucking fitting for Cody Rhodes. I'm gonna say this is not his company. This is not, his entire idea, but he's definitely navigating ship over there, like their dad used to. And I think it's just really fitting for the Rhodes brothers to do this with their dad smiling from heaven, I'm sure. So I just thought that was really cool. So Dustin Rhodes is now done with WWE, which again I don't blame. Heading over to AEW with his brother. And, I really think you're going to see a lot of jump ship here in the summertime with WWE going to AEW and all that. It'd be very odd to see who the first person from AEW go to WWE. I think that will happen one day. I don't think anytime soon, but I feel like it's going to happen one day. But Dustin Rhodes, the newest member from WWE, to jump from AEW. And I really think there's going to be more jumping from that ship. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But I'm really happy to see that match. I'm really cool with it, and I can't wait for that show because I will be watching that very closely. So that's going to be it for me, guys. This is kind of a really all-over-the-place podcast here. I really just want to come up and highlight what's going on in the world of professional wrestling here. And I do apologize for this being late. Work was a nightmare, like I said. So hopefully this episode 3 will be up by Wednesday or Thursday. I'm hoping. I don't know why it wouldn't be. I'm off, but one of those days. I can't remember which day, but I'd definitely be up a lot quicker this week than it was last week. That's really it. I will be up tonight on April 22nd for Raw, after Raw review, and then not tomorrow night for SmackDown. I will be working, but I definitely up here tonight for Raw, and then for KargKast later in the week, and then anything else in between. So I'm gonna head the hell I'm gonna head the hell out of here so I can edit this, render it, upload it to YouTube, and get it out to you guys. I will see you guys tonight for the Raw review. Take it easy.